Hello Giants fans, welcome to Giants Baseball 101. I'm Gabe Vaughn, your host. The Giants had another split squad game today. They lost both games, 9-5 to the Diamondbacks and 14-2 to the Brewers. Now I don't know if any of you are getting nervous about the Giants' failure to win games. They're losing a ton of games, just about every game they play. If that's the case with you, let me just say that I don't think the Giants are making wins a significant priority right now, particularly with the team they've got. And I think the situation right now where they're focused on developing players and building the opening day roster, I mean, to an extent that's the case with every team, but I think in particular the Giants, what they have going right now, I think they'd be one of the teams that would least place the emphasis on wins, at least in this point in spring training. And that could change as they cut guys from the roster, send them down to minor league camp and narrow things down, and we get closer to the start of the season. It could change because we'll be seeing the guys who are most likely to make up the major league roster playing the game against that kind of competition on all of the teams. So the games will look a little more like what they're going to look like in the regular season, and it'll be a little bit more predictive, I think, as spring training rolls on. But as of right now, I don't think that the Giants' current results are too predictive of what they're going to do in the season. Of course, I always could be wrong, but I don't think it's too predictive right now. I think right now the Giants are just trying to get guys in. The bullpen is just not a strong one right now, but again, I think that's because it's made up of a lot of guys that are going to get sent down to minor league camp before too much more time passes. They're not going to all be on the opening day roster. I think the Giants will have a solid bullpen. I think the guys that make it for them on opening day, they're going to be a solid bullpen. Now, is solid going to be enough? That's another question. Or are the Giants going to, with a combination of that and a combination of that and untimely bad luck, are they just going to lose a bunch of late inning games again? I mean, those are other questions, but I do think the bullpen will be solid come opening day. Well, anyway, Alex Wood pitched 2 scoreless innings, looked really good, which that's just huge. Let me say that's huge for the Giants, the fact that both Anthony DeSclafani and Alex Wood looked good in their spring training debuts. That wasn't guaranteed. DeSclafani was coming back from ankle surgery. Before that, in 2022, he had not pitched well at all. Alex Wood had a pretty rough 2022 season. I mean, could defense have factored into that? Yes, absolutely, but Wood, I think just as far as his pitching, it wasn't good. Certainly not as good as it was in 2021. He wasn't a very reliable pitcher at all in 2022. His ERA ultimately was over 500. So it's just big for the Giants that both of these pitchers looked good in their spring training debuts. And obviously that's a small sample size, and it's not like we've seen them face the lineup multiple times. That's another thing. Whether their secondary pitchers are going to work and whether they're going to be able to get hitters out multiple times, that's something we still have to see. So it is a small sample size as of right now. All the same, they are looking good. I do think that's huge for the Giants, and hopefully they'll be able to provide more to the rotation than maybe some of you were expecting. Casey Schmidt had another hit today. Just keeps happening. He's just positioning himself as a real good candidate for the opening day roster, and if he does, there's going to be a lot for the Giants to figure out. Whether he can play second base, that's not listed as one of his positions on his baseball reference page. If he could play that, well, that might be the most logical position for him if he does make the opening day roster. But Casey Schmidt, it might be a decision, honestly, for the Giants. Still have to see how David Villar is going to perform the rest of spring training. It may be a decision if Schmidt continues to be hot, because he's getting hits just about every game he appears in, and basically that's big. So the Giants will have Alex Cobb starting tomorrow. We still have to see. Let's see. Has he pitched this spring training? Yes, I do think he had one start, but we need to see more from him. I think the guys who might make all the difference in the rotation are Wood, DeSclafani, and Cobb, because we can already reasonably, I say reasonably because nothing is certain here. Certainly not this. I think we can reasonably expect Logan Webb and Ross Stripling to be quality pitchers for the Giants in 2023. However, Wood, DeSclafani, and Cobb, that was a thing where it can kind of go either way. And of the three, Cobb is the most promising. Jacob Junis is another guy who, I think he pitched pretty well in 2022. He had some bad starts, but I think overall he was pretty good. So they have quality starting pitching. Things just need to go well, and players they can't find really bad times to struggle. That's the main thing, I think, with rotation. So we're going to have to see how Cobb does tomorrow. My guess, I could be wrong about this, my guess is that he will pitch 3 innings, at least. It's the 5th tomorrow, getting kind of into March here, so I predict Cobb's pitching 3 innings tomorrow. Thank you for watching. This has been Giants Baseball 101. Please subscribe if you haven't. Please ask questions or comment. I'd love to see it. I'll see you next time on Giants Baseball 101.